This is verse 37 of the 12th chapter, Gospel of John. We've reached that critical point in John's narrative in which Jesus has now shut off his ongoing ministry to the public. He has given one last warning to them that this was their opportunity to recognize the light. But then, of course, John concludes that discussion by saying that Jesus departed and from that point on literally secreted himself or hid himself from them. From this point on, the narrative provided by John is going to be either private gatherings in which Jesus is present or his trial and crucifixion and so on. And John is continuing a sort of editorial remark here. We have a rather unusual word here. This is tosauta. This is called a adjectival demonstrative, kind of a combination of an adjective and a demonstrative pronoun, usually translated something like so much or so many. Kind of built into it is an although, though so much or so many is the idea. De, the postpositive, but though so much or so many, then autou is in the genitive here, but it plays a role in what's called a genitive absolute, so you're going to have a kind of independent clause, which really is this entire section. So he is the way we'll translate that. And then semeion, this is the neuter plural accusative of the word signs, semeion. And so signs, and then pepoiekotos. This is from poieo, to make or to do. It's the perfect active participle. Masculine singular genitive again. So in a sense, these two words go together. They're both in the genitive. And in this case, autou functions as the subject in this so-called genitive absolute construction. So although he had done so many, had done in the past, continued to do, that was the idea of the perfect here. Improsthen is a preposition before them, in front of them is the idea. And then the genitive plural, accusative pronoun, so improsthen takes the genitive, and so before them, or in their presence, or before their faces, really is probably the idea. So in spite of the fact that he had done so many things before them, or in their presence, or before their faces, that's an independent clause, and then the main sentence is uk, the negation episteuon. This is the third person plural imperfect active indicative. They were not, in an ongoing sense, believing. Pisteuo, ace, preposition takes the accusative, auton, in him. So they were not believing in him, even though he had done so many signs in their presence. Speaking to the hardness of heart, of course, that the Bible ordinarily contemplates, that miracle in itself doesn't persuade people to believe. Apart from grace, of course, miracle simply hardens them in their unbelief, and that seems to be implied, at least, in what John is saying to us here.